Happy solstice, everybody. It's the first day of summer, the longest day of the year. And that means that our days are going to get shorter from here on out. We're not going to dwell on that. That's okay. We're going to enjoy them while we've got them. Right now in the garden, I wanted to talk about online. Today, I saw someone asking for a plant identification. They said, what the heck are these plants? They're coming up everywhere in my yard. The previous homeowner had them everywhere, and I've been pulling them out for 24 years, but they keep coming back. What are they? People were like, I don't know. Maybe it's an onion. Maybe it's something else. I knew exactly what they were as soon as I saw them because I have them here in my yard. And believe it or not, they're edible. It's a weird edible that you can find. It's native to Southeast Asia. It's native to tropical climates, but they're perennial here in Zone 7A, the Jersey Shore in Ocean County, New Jersey. They're called Voodoo lily. They're also called devil's tongue, I think it is, dragon plant, lots of different things. I know it is Voodoo lily, and I bought them because they have stinky flowers. So at first, I didn't even know that this was an edible perennial that I could add to my edible landscape. I bought it as a companion plant for the pawpaw tree. Now, pawpaws are, I'm sure you know this, pawpaws are North America's largest native fruit. And they're actually not pollinated by bees at all. They're pollinated by flies and beetles. So the small burgundy flowers that show up in very early spring, I'm showing you the 3 pawpaw trees. They kind of look a little bit like meat, and they don't have a lovely fragrance. They smell rotten because they need to attract flies and beetles. Some people, I've even heard, put roadkill and pet waste under and around their pawpaws in the spring when they're blooming to attract those pollinators, the flies and the beetles, to that area. When I heard that the voodoo lily is a plant that blooms and has rancid smelling flowers like rotten meat, I thought, wow, that's perfect to put near my pawpaws because that will help with pollination. I didn't read on to find out that they bloom at exact opposite times of the year. In that right now I planted these voodoo lily 3 years ago, and they just popped out of the ground last week. So this is what the voodoo lily looks like when it first emerges from the ground. It has a mottled looking stem with kind of a pinkish, fleshy tone, and then it almost looks like it's moldy all along the stem. This is actually coming from a tuber under the ground. Now, when I planted these, the tubers were basically smaller than golf balls when I planted them. But it turns out that as this plant grows and comes back each year, new tubers are produced, and each tuber will put up one leaf. So this bunch here, that's really just one leaf, botanically speaking. And the tuber underneath can be from the size of a grapefruit to up to a foot in diameter and up to 50 pounds. These tubers can be used to turn into flour, and they can also be, I'm taking you to look at one that's really tucked far underneath this pawpaw because the pawpaw tree has gotten huge since I've planted these tubers. Here's another one back there. You can see it coming up. The tuber can be used to make flour. It can be ground into flour, or it can be used to create a vegan kind of gelatin. So it can be turned into a jelly. So it turns out that it seems to be a great thickening agent. And it's an edible that I didn't even know I was adding to my food forest edible landscape. I'm pretty sure that I found voodoo lily either on eBay or Etsy. Go to these platforms and search for the plants you're looking for. There are a lot of smaller nurseries that don't have the budget to be able to create a large e-commerce platform, but sell really good product. There may be online nurseries that sell voodoo lily that I'm just not familiar with, but definitely consider voodoo lily as an addition to your landscape. Just know that they do bloom later in the season. They'll send up a flower, and it's striking looking, but it does stink. So if you're in, don't put it downwind from your front door. That's my suggestion. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with your friends. Please join me for all my garden updates. Thanks so much. See you soon.